Halo, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Hilyatul Masun from TBI3 with ID 2321010600065. And today I'm going to talk about approaches to research from Judith Bell's book, Doing Your Research Project. This is really important because before we start any research, we need to know which approach fits our purpose. So, let's go through them one by one. First, we have action research. This is usually done by practitioners like teachers or managers when they want to solve a problem in their own workplace. In a cycle, we identify a problem, take action, evaluate the results, and then improve the practice. The main goal is not just knowledge, but for improvement in practice. Next is case study. This approach studies one case in depth. For example, one school, one hospital, or even one person. The strength is that it gives very detailed and rich information, but the weakness is that it's hard to generalize the findings to other situations. Still, it's very useful if you want to focus deeply on a specific case. Then we have a survey. Surveys collects information from a large group of people, usually with questionnaires or structures in the real. They are great for answering questions like what, where, when, and how. But surveys often cannot fully explain why something happens, so they are good for getting a big picture, but not always for deep explanations. And the fourth is experimental research. This is when research compares two groups, one control group and one experimental group. It is best approach for testing cause and effect. For example, testing whether a new teaching method really improves student scores. But in social science, experiments can be difficult, expensive, and sometimes raise ethical issues. Fifth is ethnography. This approach comes from anthropology. The research spends time with a group of people, observing and sometimes joining their daily lives. The goal is to understand the culture and behavior and meaning behind people's actions. It's given deep insight, but is a very time-consuming and sometimes not representative of the world populations. And for the next is grounded theory. Approach doesn't start with a hypothesis. Instead, the theory comes from the data instead. Research collects data, analyzes it, and then new insight or theories emerges. It's a cycle of collecting, coding, and comparing data until patterns become clear. This approach is really useful for creating new concepts or frameworks. And finally, narrative inquiry. This uses people's story and the mind search of data. Through the personal experience, research can understand perspective and emotions. It gives participants a strong voice, which is powerful, but the challenge is how to structure and analyze stories in a clear way. So, to wrap up, Each approach has strengths and weaknesses. There is no single best method, it all depends on your research question, your context, and your goals. Sometimes, there's even common more than one approach to get better results. And that's enough for today's video. Thanks for watching and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.